Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And welcome back, everybody. We're going to talk about weddings today, planning weddings, but specifically those things that a lot of us don't consider unless we're a wedding planner. These are like the little finite details in terms of keeping everybody happy, right down to the bridesmaid and the moms as well. And she's somebody that helps with a lot of this in the greater Atlanta area, specifically the south side of Atlanta. And she always makes it a great day when she plans events. That's the name of her company, Great Days Event Planning. Kiersten Tharp is back with us. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thanks so much for having me back.
I give you a lot of credit for being able to deal with the stress and the pressure of planning a wedding. What a responsibility that is on your shoulders. That's, should be once in a lifetime event. And there's so many different pieces to that puzzle. How do you do it? How do you not stress out? Is it just after time you get confidence? Like, how does that all work?
I guess confidence is a big thing. You really have to trust yourself to know that, you got every single piece in place. Definitely organization is a huge deal. I just recently, I've had everything written down on notebooks and things like that on paper. And I just recently got a Remarkable, which is the electronic.
I was going to get one. My birthday was a couple of weeks ago and I was going to meet that. It's a little pricey, but it's a little pricey,
but it's a game changer. It is totally worth it.
I love the fact that it blends that you're using your hand to write, because so many of us have now gotten fixed on typing, but scientifically proven the connection between the mind and the hand when you write it, it's almost like you imprint it in your brain, you back it up again. And the Remarkable is you can write it physically, but it can turn it into, an email.
Absolutely. So cool. That's a huge, and I think Kindle also has one, Kindle Scribe. But it's oh my gosh, absolute game changer. And I also look a little more professional.
And there's that.
But anyway, so organization is a massive thing. And for me, it's interesting because the way my mind works, it's kind of like I have the day memorized already, of where everything should be, of how it should look and everything, even though I have everything written out and, whatever, but I have it in my mind of how everything should go. And plus I've met with my bride tons of times. So I already have everything in my head memorized anyway, but I have the day of timeline printed out with me day of. I have the list of songs that they have printed out. I have every little detail already with me just in case. But I think the biggest thing is communication. That's the most important thing. And to be completely upfront and honest about every little thing. Hey, I forgot about this. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? I didn't have this written down. Can you tell me? But we're all human. We all make mistakes. So we need to kind of cover our tracks as much as possible.
Sure.
But the most important thing is you have to be day of, you have to be perfect. Everything has to go right. Because if it doesn't, it's on you. It's if the caterer shows up late and they're not ready in time, that's on you. It's not on the caterer, it's on you. Because it is your job to make sure that everyone gets there on time. Everybody has what they need to do. It's all on the wedding planner. So it's funny. I just met with my brother and his wife, my sister-in-law. And she was like, I could not do what you do.
This is what I'm saying.
So much pressure to have that day, that one day that every single bride looks forward to for her entire life to be perfect. And it's on your shoulders. But I love it. Also that extra little pressure, it makes me want to be even more perfect. So I don't know. I don't know. All of those pieces put together really fits who I am. And also to making the bride feel comfortable and herself, and making her feel she needs to be excited, get her excited. You need to have that excitement too, to get that kind of out. And I don't know, all those things together, it just makes sense for me.
That's a really good point, because if the wedding planner, and I believe everything is energy, we emit energy. What you put out there, you're getting back. So if you're stressed out, even if it's inside you, but you're not showing it, And it's okay, I think, to be, a little anxious, a little nervous about stuff, because you want it perfect. That energy is going to be picked up by the bride and the family. And then they're going to be kind of wonky and worried and all of that. Were you, and by the way, just want to go back real quick to what you said. I own a business, I do marketing, and I gravitate to this. We don't make mistakes. We don't make mistakes.
Yep.
Of course we do. But if you take the mentality of we don't make mistakes, I feel you'll make less. It's just one of those, if you think of it, that nobody's perfect. There is no perfectionism. Right. Abandon that, long ago. But the details, everything is details here. How did that happen for you? Were you always very detail oriented?
Oh, yes. Okay. Oh my gosh. Everything, when I was young, everything I strived for perfection. And as I've gotten older, I'm like, I'm human. Like, there's no way that I realized that that's not possible. But every little detail had to be just right when I was a kid. And I think also my oldest brother was very much, he had that same mentality, still has that same mentality of everything has to be just right. And so I kind of watched him and took that in, and kind of made that my own. Yeah, so which is really, really cool. But also I'm the youngest of three, and I'm the only girl. So that's my oldest brother, who's everything has to be a certain way. Everything has to be just right. And my middle brother is the complete opposite. He is very laid back, chill, flexible. He adapts to any situation that he's in. So being raised with both of those people who are huge mentors in my life, taking both of those in, that was huge for the industry that I'm in right now.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Now we know what makes the client, the bride, happy. We talked about some of those even last time we got together. Mm-hmm. Let's be honest. What upsets them?
I think the thing that most upsets them is when their bridesmaids are late. I've seen that before. In fact, I had one bride, all of her bridesmaids were over an hour late the day of. Yeah. She was furious. And not only for me, it's okay, we can adjust the timeline. That's what I'm there for. Is if something goes off, I can put it back on track. But for her, it was, they're supposed to be in my right hand. They're supposed to be here for me, and they weren't. So that's definitely something that can really upset them, which is, completely understandable. That's one thing that can upset them. Any sort of drama that can happen. My job day of is to make sure that if anything bad happens, they don't know about it day of. And even the day before, I don't want them to be stressed out. I don't want, because the week of, they're all over the place. I've seen it every single time. They are all over the place, stressed out, overwhelmed. Is everything on track? Is everything put together? Did I miss anything? And of course, day of, nerves are skyrocketed. So anything that goes wrong, you want to make sure that they don't know about it. I had my very, very first wedding, the electricity in the venue went out morning of. So while the bride was getting ready, getting her hair done and everything like that, pitch black. And we were like, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? So, an hour went by, nothing was fixed. Of course, the venue owner was calling, the electric company, in a panic. And so finally the hair and makeup artist came up to me and she was like, we need to figure out what to do. And of course the bride's freaking out and everything. I'm like, okay, here's what we're going to do. I live 10 minutes from the venue. You're going to go to my house and get your hair and makeup done there. That's the only thing I could think of off the top of my head. So it's you got to improvise and adapt, overcome. That's kind of my motto.
I'm getting anxiety.
Yeah, exactly.
And I usually don't have it.
I know. And so anything that goes wrong, you want to do your best to make sure that the bride doesn't know about it. Obviously in situations like that, she will know about it, but you need to be calm, in control, and have a solution right off the bat as fast as you can. And having somebody who has that mentality, who wants to make sure that everything goes just right, even though something will go wrong, there's somebody there to fix it. That's huge. Oh my gosh, huge. You don't want that on your shoulders or on your mom's shoulders or anybody else's shoulders.
When did the power come back on?
It's funny. Like, so I told the hair and makeup artist, pack up your car, get everything you need. Same with the bride, everything she needs. And I was like, once you pull around, I will give you my address and you can head off. As she got in the car, the electricity went back on.
Wow.
So it was like,
so I want to look at that. Worst case scenario. Mm-hmm. The power didn't come back on. Mm-hmm. What do you do in that situation? What would you have done? So what do we've got here? She's got to get her hair and makeup done, finish up. We got that. Put that to the side. We're good. Now it's time to start the party. Mm-hmm. And obviously we don't have a sound system. Mm-hmm. So we're going to have to improvise on that one, hoping power comes back. Yeah. And that could be, a nice change up. Not exactly what one wanted, but, something could possibly have been done there in terms of just singing songs. Just go with me on this. You got to do what you got to do. It depends on the talent that is there.
Yeah. Probably what I would have done. Well, fortunately that happened like at noon. So like we would have had hours to get that done. And also fortunately they were getting married outside and it was a beautiful day. And
okay.
Right. So there was at least that.
All right. Awesome.
And it was a smaller wedding. I think there were about 50 people there. So it wasn't like the officiant had to
looking better.
Yeah, I know. But obviously there was a DJ, and, obviously they had the reception inside too.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
So it was like a lot of variables for that. So I probably would have had like more stuff outside. Later in the day, and also for the DJ, I would have said, okay, you need to go get a generator.
Yeah,
go rent one from Home Depot.
Right. Yeah, 100%. And my mind was thinking that there wasn't a lot of time, but it seems like there was some time for that to take place.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. It's not like, everything. It's not like she was getting married like an hour later.
Okay. So we would have had some padding and then there would have been time to get a generator. So
for sure. And that is also a big part of my job. And that's something that I focus on when I make the timeline is that I make some cushion because every single time like pictures go long, somebody shows up late, hair and makeup is running late, something is bound to push that timeline. So we want to make sure that we have enough cushion there. If time runs over, we're not going over the ceremony time.
I'm still stuck on the bridesmaid being an hour late. Like, what are you thinking?
He was furious all morning. Like, even after that happened, she was like on edge, upset, understandably so. And it was so sweet. She came downstairs all dressed gorgeous and she was still on edge. And she had what's called a first touch with her fiance, now husband, instead of a first look, because some people still don't want to see each other, but they still want to have that moment together of like being able to talk to each other or doing like personal vows to each other. And it's absolutely beautiful. But so she had that moment.
How does that work? Just I'm intrigued.
Oh, yeah. So typically how I do it is we find a spot for them to do it in, just like a first touch or just like a first look. I mean, and then, but I have the groom kind of turned in a certain way so that he can't see her, with his back to her. And then here comes the bride. Either she has her eyes closed with somebody guiding her, or like he's behind a tree or something, and they,
Gotcha.
Reach around, and so like they hold hands and they talk to each other, and that's what they did. Cool. I watched her walk out the venue, and they met around a tree, and like she got to talk to him, and like I saw all of that stress, all of that frustration, all of it just melted away. And it was beautiful. And of course she was crying, and she came back in and she was like, that's what I needed. was to talk to him.
That's why that's why they're getting married.
Yes. I'm like, that's also another reason why I love doing that kind of thing. Cause like you are stressed out and you need to talk to the one person who's going to calm you down. Like I can only do so much. It's him.
Mm-hmm. Back to the bridesmaids. It just that you're not showing up to a party, damn it. You have a responsibility. Let's talk about responsibilities of the bridesmaids, even the moms.
Yeah. So during the planning process, I've had this happen so many times. The bridesmaids always make it about them. Like for some reason.
Apparently so here.
Yes. It's happened quite a bit where I've seen at least one bridesmaid just makes it all about them. You know, I've had a bridesmaid get really upset that, you know, an ex of theirs was going to be at the wedding when it was actually like a family member of the groom's. So it's like, just get over it. Like you need to focus on the bride, and she's trying. Every single bride always does this. They think about what everybody else wants and what makes everybody else comfortable. But I'm there to tell them, this is your day. Do what you want. Like, this is not their day. They can have their day or they've already had it. But yeah, so I've had bridesmaids just get to the point where it becomes drama. And I've had to intervene and be like, listen, girls, you need to get your, together. Like you need to remember this is her day. You need to be there for her. And so from that point on, they were good.
I can't even.
Yeah. So like the whole point of being a bridesmaid or a bridesman is to be there for them and to be the best friend that they need you to be, because the whole process can be insanely stressful. And so whether that means going with them to look for a dress, whether that means going to get your nails done with them, talking with them about things that are stressing them out, making a fun bachelorette weekend, making it all about them and getting them excited and happy. The moms have a very, very important role as well, because nobody else is their mom. Like that's such a special place to be. But again, I've seen moms want to take control, and that can be a really sticky situation. So you kind of have to guide that very gently. And fortunately I've seen it a lot, and I know how to be like, how about this instead? And then the mom's like, oh yeah, that's a good,
So, it's interesting. It's almost like you're the UN. It's, you are the peacekeeper.
You have to be a peacekeeper, and also like a little bit of a therapist too for the bride.
For sure. But yeah, well, you're using psychology there because you're letting the mom make the choice. But what about this? What do you think of this? Oh, I really like that. Okay, good.
Yeah. And that's actually what the bride wants. Like,
right. Exactly. Yeah. It's just, it's positioned in a different way. What about registries? Is that still a thing? Is it, is it a list on Amazon? Like what's going on now?
So it depends. So there's the modern route and there's also the traditional route. The traditional route is if you aren't living together already, if you don't have your own place already, like if let's say you're 21 years old, out of college, and you have nothing,
or out of the basement,
or out of the basement, like you have nothing,
right.
Obviously that's when you would definitely want a full registry. But I've had a lot of people in today's day and age, you're already living together, you've already moved in together, or both of you already have an apartment and you already have everything. And at this point, you're just trying to downsize. You don't need pots and pans, you don't need towels, you don't need all that kind of stuff. So the modern thing to do is to just ask for money, which honestly, I've had it happen so many times. I've had couples be like, is that okay to do? And I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah.
What? And that's actually really nice for the guest as well, because then they're not like having to find something, like having to choose something off of your registry. Like,
you know what? Too much work. I'm sorry. Love you. It's a lot of work. And I don't want that responsibility.
They give you a card with a $50 bill in it. Like, perfect.
Okay.
Awesome.
What? I have a wedding. Pretty good friend coming up. Beginning of October. What's the going gift rate?
As far as what? As far as like
wedding gift, giving a wedding
as
gift.
far as any wedding gift?
Yeah.
Like,
and I guess every area is different, cost of living and
it
such.
is. Yeah. Are they already living together and things like that? Or are they
Got a house, they got everything, it's all good.
Okay, so then in that case, I would recommend just giving them cash.
Oh, I am, but I'm wondering what the number is on that. Is it
I've seen it range
250?
anywhere from I've seen it range anywhere from like $40 to $100.
Okay.
You know,
All right.
like yeah, some like I had when I got married, we were like, we just want a honeymoon fund.
I
Like,
was just going to ask you that. Is that tacky? That's
it's
okay.
not.
Okay.
It's perfectly fine.
Wow.
I've had what we did was we had a registry, but on the registry it was just like cash. Like just give it to us electronically is fine. But we also like obviously people would give us cards with money in it. And so what we did was obviously we paid for our like the trip and we went to St. Thomas for a week. And so we obviously spent money on the hotel, on the flight, but week of we didn't spend a dime. It was fabulous because we used all of the money that was given to us. Maybe over $1,000 on food,
Wow.
on things that experiences like boat trips and things like that. Week of like.
All right, I have an idea. And just shut the cameras off. Everything. You have GoFundMe, right? Is there any portal for the honeymoon fund or something like that where it's easy? You could just send the link. It's all set up. It's even even if it's a vacation, the experience.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever done that yet?
Not in a GoFundMe. That's
like
that's more...
like a GoFundMe. You know what I'm saying? Where it's an easy portal to go to.
So fortunately, a lot of like online registries, not Amazon or anything like that, but like on the Knot or Wedding Wire, like obviously they have their own wedding registry that you can pull up. But they all have they've added that as an option, as like a honeymoon fund. And then, you just pop in your Venmo or Zelle or whatever. And then, you could just send it electronically through that. Gotcha.
I'm always thinking.
Yeah.
I love what you do and your energy and passion for it and attention to detail. When's your birthday?
May 6th. I probably should have shared that. 1988.
Okay. So you would be you're not a Gemini because you're just before that. You're what are you?
Taurus.
You're a Taurus.
I'm a Taurus. Yeah. I'm the bull. So like, I know it's funny. Like I know how to be firm and very, what's a very nice term?
Assertive.
Yes. I know how to be assertive,
right.
But at the same time, like I know I can read the room. I'm really, really good at that. So I can see what's going on, and adapt to that.
Sure.
But if there's something wrong, then I try my best to find a solution right away.
Yeah. In a nice way.
Being
very tactful. I know that you're south of Atlanta. You service that whole area, Fayetteville, and on and on and on. First off, how do we reach you? Second, if somebody is outside of that area but is vibing with you and wants to consult in some regards, would you do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, to answer your first question, the best way to reach me, you can go to my website, greatdayseventplanning.com. You can, message me through there. You can find me on all over social media, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, where I offer like little tidbits of wedding planning advice.
Oh, cool.
You can also email me, ktharp@greatdayseventplanning.com. My phone number, which is on the internet, it's on Google, is 304-203-2481. That's my cell. I'm always here to help in any way that I can. So if somebody reaches out with like a question or something, absolutely. Yeah, I'll help you out. That's not a big deal. But obviously, like if somebody needs help, like with coordinating their wedding or planning, full planning, decorating, whatever it may be, then absolutely, I'm more than willing to help with that too.
Great talking with you. Learned a lot. Oh my gosh. Especially I haven't been to a wedding in about a year. So the one in October, I am going to be looking around.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And see how things are being done.
Yes, for sure. And everyone behind the scenes, they should be like ninjas. Like you should not be able to see them at all.
Let's see if it's up to Kiersten quality. Great talking with you. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. We'll be right back. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Can I touch this? Where does sand come from? Is this tree good for climbing? What happens if I mix these two things together? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Storing your guns securely is the best way to prevent family fire, including unintentional shootings. For more information on safe gun storage and ways to keep your family safe, visit endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org.
What do we keep in the attic? What's this thing called? Can I ride my bike backwards?
Like I said, kids are curious. It's up to us to keep them safe. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.